So Lord Brahma is continuing to speak to a great sage, Narada. In the previous chapter, it has been established by Lord Brahma that Krishna is the cause of all causes. And prior to that chapter, the pure process of creation was also explained. And from the 7th chapter, the various incarnations of the Lord will be described by Lord Brahma. Now, this chapter, Purusha Sutta, is highly technical, and our endeavor will be to make it simple so we can understand what is being stated over here. Because in Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada has greatly simplified the translation and presented the essence of this in very simple language. So the basic theme of this chapter is that the Lord in the ultimate sense is a person. And this universal form of the Lord defeats the impersonal concept, and the form of the Lord is always transcendental. In the Bhagavad Gita, you read about the universal form of the Lord. Actually, Arjuna knew that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He was never in doubt about the supreme position of Krishna. But Arjuna knew that in future there will be so many impostors who may claim to be incarnations of God, and they can be easily tested by being asked if they are capable of displaying the universal form. And obviously they will not be able to do it, just like about a few years ago I was taking part in an interfaith dialogue, and one of the Swamis came up and said, "Why do people say there's only one Krishna? We can all become Krishna. Why do you say there's only one Krishna and no more?" So I said, when Krishna appeared, he performed superhuman activities, and I listed some of them. Can you do it? He said, just because we haven't done it so far doesn't mean we can't do it tomorrow. So I said, okay, how many years do you want for a guarantee that you will lift Govardhan Hill? So there was no answer. So Arjuna asked Krishna to show his universal form, because Arjuna knew that in future impostors would appear, and Arjuna wanted to establish clearly that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, not just because he's saying this, not just because the great sages have established that, but also because Krishna, when he appears, he performed superhuman activities. Just like in chapter 7 of the 2nd canto, you're going to get exposed to the different incarnations of the Lord, known as Avatar. As you know, recently, a top Hollywood producer made a movie called Avatar. And that movie, from what I understand, we don't watch movies, but what we've been told is a super hit. I was in Italy recently, and even in Italy saw the posters everywhere. And it's a catchy name, Avatar. What Avatar means, one who descends from the spiritual world. I don't know what the movie is presenting, but anyway, they've at least given it a spiritual name. So, Narada Muni is being informed by Lord Brahma that the universal form of the Lord has all these different organs that we have. Just like the voice, we have voice because the Lord also has a voice. So if God was impersonal, how could God have voice? Just like there are people who have translated the Bhagavad Gita, and in the commentary they are attempting to establish that the Lord is impersonal. So if the Lord is impersonal, then why is it stated Sri Bhagavan Uvacha? The Supreme Lord is speaking. So the voice that we have is ultimately emanating because the Lord also has a voice. Then the Lord is the source of the Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns are nothing but prayers in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord has a tongue. We have a tongue. The Lord also has a tongue. And then further it says, what does the tongue do? The tongue is capable of tasting different foodstuffs and delicacies that are offered to the demigods, forefathers, etc. So the basic theme, or the main point of this verse is that just because the Lord also has a universal form, it doesn't mean that He doesn't have a personal form. And the different organs that we have in our body are all there because they all exist in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As the Bible says, man is made in God's image. Isn't that in the Bible? So, man is made in God's image. Because God has these organs, we also have organs. The Lord has feelings, we also have feelings. But as we will discuss, the unfortunate tragedy is our senses and our feelings are misplaced. Now, Prabhupada talks about in the purport the generating center of the 7 kinds of Vedic hymns, beginning with the Gayatri mantra. So the Brahma Samhita explains that the Gayatri mantra emanated from the flute of Krishna. The Gayatri mantra originally emanated from the flute of Krishna, and it went into the ears of Lord Brahma. And when Lord Brahma heard the Kama Gayatri, the Kama Gayatri represents the last line of the Gayatri mantra. And when he heard the Kama Gayatri, it gave Lord Brahma such intense happiness. He was in ecstasy because the Kama Gayatri that he heard, Krishna was playing his transcendental flute, and from the transcendental flute emanated the Kama Gayatri, which went into the ears of Lord Brahma, and the Kama Gayatri glorifies Krishna in his transcendental Rasa Leela. And Brahma started meditating on Krishna's transcendental